It all started with a grinding screech and a bone-rattling clunk. My brand-new, custom-built front porch escalator, 6 feet of gleaming steel, and Spy decided it was done for the day. There I was, Tom Harper, stranded 4 feet above my driveway, tilted at an angle that screamed trouble. Below me, poor Jake, the pizza delivery guy, clutched my pepperoni and mushroom pie like it was a life raft, his eyes wide with panic. He'd stepped onto the bottom tread just as I started my ascent, and now we were both stuck. The control panel's yellow light blinked mockingly, and the metallic groan that preceded the halt echoed in my ears. This wasn't in the manual, which, by the way, read like it was spat out by a discount translation bot. I gripped the rubber handrail, which had stopped dead, and muttered, "Stay calm, Tom. Probably just a sensor. Or, the whole drive system imploding." My phone buzzed, probably Lisa, my wife, texting from inside with something like, "Saw, is your ridiculous machine broken again?" Saw before I could check, a familiar figure stormed across the street, Linda Thompson, HOA president, neighborhood tyrant, and my personal nemesis. Her phone was already out, camera app glowing, ready to immortalize my predicament for the HOA newsletters. "Shame on you, section. Thomas Harper," she bellowed, her voice slicing through the evening air. "Your death trap's broken again. Look at it. You've trapped that poor boy." "Evening, Linda," I called back, forcing a grin. "Just a glitch. Technicians on the way." Jake shifted nervously below. Sir, 30 minutes or it's free." "Does this count?" he asked, voice trembling. "Don't you dare toss that pizza!" Linda shrieked, now directly under the escalator, glaring up like a hawk. "Grease ruin it more!" Right on cue, red and blue lights flashed at the street's end. Of course, Linda had the cops on speed dial. This was shaping up to be a nightmare. This whole mess didn't start with a busted escalator. It began 6 months ago with 6 perfectly good concrete steps leading to my porch. They'd been there 20 years solid, a little worn, with a tiny crack on the top step you need a microscope to spot. The risers? Maybe a 1/4 inch off if you measured with a laser and a vendetta. Normal steps. Until Linda tripped. She was dropping off flyers about some new dog poop rule, and as she hit the top step, she wobbled. Not a fall, just a stumble, caught by the railing. No big deal, right? Wrong. "Thomas!" she gasped, clutching her chest like she'd survived a shark attack. "Your steps are a hazard. I nearly broke my ankle. That crack, the unevenness, it's a lawsuit waiting to happen." I was watering my begonias, trying not to roll my eyes. "They're concrete, Linda. Been fine for decades. Maybe watch your step next time." "Big mistake." Her eyes narrowed. "Watch my step? I'm HOA president. Safety is my duty. You'll hear from the board." And I did. Notices piled up like junk mail. First, a potentially hazardous condition. Warning. Then a violation for uneven risers, with a blurry photo of the crack. Finally, an order: replace the steps within 30 days or face fines. I wasn't crazy. I got a quote to patch the crack, maybe grind the edge. A few $100. Submitted it to the HOA's REVYEW committee, chaired by Linda. Denied. At the next meeting, she gave a speech worthy of a courtroom drama, clutching her notes like they were sacred. "A patch won't do. The structural integrity's shot. Those risers are a tripping hazard, especially for seniors." She's barely older than me. The board, a bunch of retirees obsessed with lawn rules, caved. Full replacement, they voted. I was VYD, rip out solid steps because Linda tripped once. Insane. Quotes for new steps came in thousands of dollars. I stewed, glaring at those 6 steps, imagining Linda tripping again, less gracefully. "Hazardous, huh?" I muttered, kicking the bottom riser. "She wants foolproof access?" My brain sparked. "Ramps? Too steep, and she'd hate the look. Elevators? Too pricey for 6 feet. Then, late one night, scrolling for stair alternatives, I saw it, a shiny mall escalator. No steps to trip on, just smooth, moving treads. Perfect. Audacious. Nuts. Checkmate, Linda, I whispered, typing residential escalators into Google. Finding one was a nightmare. Home escalators are rare, mostly for mega mansions and outdoor ones. Unicorn territory. Quotes were eye-watering, think luxury SUV prices, before installation. Plus, you need a pit for the mechanism, heavy-duty power, and structural support. I showed Lisa a slick rendering from a German firm. Weatherproof, heated treads, silent, I pitched. She stared, torn between disbelief and worry for my sanity. Tom, that's for a subway station. You want this because Linda tripped? It's the principle, I insisted. She can't bully us with fake safety claims. I scoured the HOA rulebook, hunting for a deal breaker. Stairs? Pages of rules: tread depth, riser height, handrails. Ramps? Same deal. Escalators? Nothing. The rules assumed static structures. It's not stairs, I crowed to Lisa while VYing the binder. It's a mechanized accessibility device, she sighed. Linda find 50 other violations knows aesthetics. It'll be sleek and quiet, I countered. Like a garage door opener. Totally legal. Finding someone to build it was another hurdle. Local contractors laughed me off. An escalator? You serious? Accessibility firms offered lifts or ramps, not escalators. A German engineer quoted hundreds of thousands of euros. I was sinking until I found a grainy website, saw Frank's elevators and oddities saw. Tagline, saw we go up, down, and sometimes sideways. Saw photos showed freight elevators, a homemade chairlift, a rotating stage. This was my guy. I called, and a gruff voice answered, cigar in mouth. Frank's. I pitched my eccentric project. An escalator for my porch. HOE drama. Frank laughed. Hoa? Say no more. They're why I do half my jobs. Tell me everything. Frank showed up the next day, a loud Hawaiian shirt stretched over his belly, eyes sharp as he sized up my steps and Linda's perfect lawn. I spilled the saga: Linda's stumble, the notices, my loophole. He roared with laughter. So, Miss Klutz stubs her toe, sicks her board on you, and you're like, fine, I'll build an escalator. Kid, that's nuts. I love it. He saw the loophole instantly. It ain't stairs. It's conveyance. Classic. He got serious, inspecting the porch. This is tough. Outdoor escalators are rare. Weatherproofing's a bee strain, snow, dirt. Needs stainless steel, heated treads, a pit 3 feet deep. Heavy power, safety sensors, the works. He scribbled a number. It was a fortune, 10 times new steps. I pictured Linda's face when she saw it. Do it, I said. The build was chaos. Frank's crew demolished the steps with jackhammers, Linda filming like it was a crime scene. They dug a pit under the porch, shoring it up as dirt piled on my lawn. Neighbors gawked. Big project, Tom, called Mr. Jenkins over the fence. Upgrading access, I yelled back. Linda called the permit office daily, sniffing out our vague accessibility improvement permit. The escalator arrived in a crate the size of a small car, hauled by a flatbed that barely fit the street. Forklifts, steel trusses, step chains, pure spectacle. HOE notices flooded in, unapproved modifications, industrial nuisance. Frank used them for kindling. Linda confronted Frank mid-install. That's no ramp, she spat. Ma'am, Frank drawled. It's a state-of-the-art conveyance system, permit approved. He tapped the permit smugly. Improves accessibility. Very safe. Linda was speechless for once. After weeks of dust and noise, the test run came. Frank flipped the breakers. The escalator hummed, then groaned, moving sluggishly. Handrails outpaced the steps, creating a dizzying effect. Needs tweaking, Frank muttered, adjusting gears. Finally, it glided smoothly. I stepped on, heart pounding. It carried me up effortlessly. Smooth as silk! Frank beamed. Down was weirder, like sinking. Lisa's cat, Whiskers, bolted mid-ride. Owning an escalator was a trip. Leaves jammed the cone plates. Power flickers triggered resets. Rain caused a drip. Frost spiked my electric bill. Linda pounced on every hiccup, once calling the cops claiming erratic machinery. Officers Daniels and Lee arrived, staring at the humming escalator, then at Linda, who swore it was sparking. Legal, ma'am, Frank said, flashing a badge of dubious origin. No ordinances against porch escalators. The cops sighed. HOA matter unless it's dangerous. Linda fumed. I threw an escalator warming party, inviting neighbors, Frank's crew, even Jake with free pizza. Guests wrote it, kids giggling, adults snapping selfies. It was a suburban carnival until it wasn't. Mid-party, carrying sliders, I was halfway up when a grinding screech hit. The escalator lurched and stopped. Sliders flew. Jake yelped below. A yellow light flashed. Silence, then Linda appeared, flanked by Daniels, Lee, and a city inspector, her face glowing with VY Tory. It's a death trap, she shrieked. Condemn it! The inspector was stern. Malfunctions with people aboard are serious. Just a glitch, I stammered, dialing Frank. Sensor tripped? Linda scoffed. It'll kill someone. Frank's truck screeched up. He dove into the mechanism, muttering about sensors. Party debris, he announced, holding up a nacho chip. Triggered the safety stop. Worked perfectly. He reset it, and the escalator hummed back to life, delivering us safely. The inspector issued a warning full safety report in 48 hours. Linda was Levy YD, her triumph ruined by a chip. The party limped on, but the escalator lived. Frank fixed the sensor, added guards. The HOA passed a new rule banning future escalators, but mine was grandfathered, a gleaming middle finger to Linda. It's a hassle, sure. Maintenance costs a fortune, and I'm a pro at resets. But every morning, gliding up with my coffee, I catch Linda glaring from her lawn, taping her birdbath like it's a biohazard. Our eyes meet. I wave. She scowls. The escalators hum as I step onto my porch? That's VY Tory. Pure, absurd VY Tory.